Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. Barcelona 3, Celta Vigo 2. What a game. What a game that we've seen. What a dramatic comeback from Barcelona, because 2-0 down in the 77th minute. And you thought, well, is this it? Is this Barcelona going to stumble and going to lose at home to a side that's not necessarily, as an act for upsets, but isn't necessarily the sort of team we expect to lose at home too. And then 12 minutes later, it's 3-2 Barcelona, and they've won this game. In the end, they don't have winners. So it's a fantastic performance from Barcelona in that second half. But really, if you look back at it, I think Celta Vigo lost it, and I think Rafael Benitez lost it with some of his tactics, especially after that second goal. I think the biggest mistake that Rafael Benitez made is when he took off Iago Aspas, having gone 2-0 up. I think, I understand that Aspas is 36 and you don't want to keep him on the field. I think, they need to start looking beyond him, because he's such a talismanic figure at Celta Vigo, but he can't keep going on and on. But in that game, I thought he could have played maybe another 3-4 minutes. Just keep him on for another 3-4 minutes. I'm sure he could have given another 3-4 minutes. You're 2-0 up. See another 3-4 minutes out. Just give yourself that little bit of of time just to keep him on the field, because he was such a psychological barrier in some ways for Barcelona. It was almost a psychological barrier that they were so afraid of him defensively that they weren't always committing full on to attack. As soon as he came off, I think Barcelona kind of felt, okay, that's great. Now we can start attacking. Now we can play a little bit more freely. And it's no surprise that they scored a goal 4 minutes after he left the pitch. I think they got a goal, then they got another one, and then they got another one. At the moment Barcelona got one, it was really all about how long Celta Vigo could keep Barcelona from scoring one goal. Because the moment they got one, they were going to get two, and then they were going to get three. That was going to happen. So from Benitez's point of view, especially when they went 2-0 up, I think he almost kind of made a mistake of thinking, okay, it's game over. But that wasn't how it is. I think the reality is that the goal from Celta Vigo's point was, let's delay that first goal for Barcelona as long as we can. And for that reason, I think if we had kept Aspas on, even for the 3-4 minutes, just let things settle down. Because when you're 2-0 up, 2-0 is always a dangerous lead. It is something that we always say. It's a cliche, but we always say this. 2-0 is a dangerous lead. Because the moment the other team gets a goal, they've got the momentum, and suddenly you only have a 1-goal cushion. And especially with Barcelona, team like that good, you can't afford to, give them any sort of momentum. And so therefore, had he kept Aspas on for 3-4 minutes, just calm things down. 2-0 up, adrenaline will be high for the players. They might think that they've won it. Some of them might get a little bit complacent. Some of them might be a little bit tired as well and think that it's okay to take the foot off the gas. So you keep your leader on, you keep your best player on just for 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes. See out a little bit of that, the calm things out a little bit, and then you make the substitution, and then you still have you have less time to hold out. And I think that's where Benitez lost it. He made that tactical substitution, and they just lost it. People will point to the fact that Bamba was tired, that maybe Torre was tired, maybe they need to take off one of those players, and that is true. He probably should have made substitutions a lot earlier, but I feel the one substitution that he did make, was the wrong one. He should not have taken off Aspas at that point immediately after scoring. He shouldn't have taken him off. Keep him on for maybe another few minutes. Let things calm down, and then you could have made the substitutions, and maybe they would have come away with a win. But that's what it was, tactical naivety from Rafael Benitez in some ways, which is surprising considering how long he's been in the game. But maybe that's one of the reasons why he's now managing Celta Vigo instead of managing some big club. He's here where he is because he's just hasn't been able to evolve as a tactician. But anyway, that being said, the first 75 minutes was fantastic football from Celta Vigo. That first goal was both goals actually, if you look back, they were really good goals that were scored. The first goal was, Barcelona just being a bit lazy in defense, not clearing the ball out properly. It falls, it comes back to the Celta Vigo defense. They quickly move it forward. It was Torre who played that pass forward to Larsen. It's a good finish from Larsen. It had to be a good finish as well, because you're trying to beat the Stegen. It had to be a good finish. It was a great finish. You go 1-0 up. You still think Barcelona will come back. They've been behind before this season as well. They come back and win the game. But the way that Celta Vigo defended was brilliant, because it was a 5-2-2-1. And essentially the 5 defenders defended, and the 2 midfielders kind of supported, but they also had the freedom to go forward. So every time that those 5 at the back was consistent, but the 2 midfielders were forward and backward defenders. So when Barcelona had the ball, they would make it a back 7. When they got the ball, they would quickly bomb forward to make it a front 5. And so that's where Barcelona was struggling, because every time they lost the ball, Celta Vigo just put more numbers forward, and they always look like Celta Vigo looked like they could score with every attack. It's just too bad they didn't have a striker who could actually finish. But the fact is that they did have 5. They look dangerous and threatening with every attack. The second goal I thought was a work of art, and I would have, we could marvel at this goal for so long, because that is such a work of art. the irony is that Aspas tried to pass like that before. And he couldn't pull it off, and they covered it. But for some reason, Barcelona didn't heed that warning. It again comes to him. The pass is so good. This time he gets it right. The second time he gets that pass to White, and it's a good finish from the striker, Dukovic, I think is his name. I've forgotten his name because now we've gone so far ahead, but it was a fantastic finish, and I thought that was wonderfully well done. It was a great move, and I think that is a concern for Barcelona because they are leaking goals. And that's not good. Duvikas, not Dukovic, it's Duvikas. Duvikas scored a beautiful goal. And that is a concern. That is a concern for Barcelona that they keep conceding sloppy goals, particularly goals like that. I also think that in the second half, Xavi also kind of went to hell with tactics. I'm just going to put as many attackers as I can on the pitch, which you can understand because they were 1-0 down. But just kept throwing numbers on the pitch without any kind of idea of what he wanted to do in terms of tactics. But Duvikas scores, and like I said, the game turned because he took Aspas off, and then Lewandowski scored a good goal. It's a good cross. It's a good pass from Felix, the overhead pass, which is wonderful. And it finds Lewandowski, and he puts a nice little goal, chip shot into the goal. And at that point, you just felt Barcelona are going to come back and make it 2-2. Just too much time in the game because I think it was the 80th minute when he scored. That's why it was the 81st minute, and it's still like with stoppage time these days, you can easily get 10-15 minutes. So 81st minute is not really the 81st minute. And as I said again, if Benitez had just not taken off Aspas at the 77th minute, just keep him on for another 3-4 minutes, get to the 80-minute mark, and then maybe make substitutions, better substitutions, take off one of your midfielders, bring on another fresh pair of legs, which he didn't do. So much tactical naivety, but that's not Barcelona's problem. They capitalized on the chances, and it was 2-1, and then Lewandowski makes it 2-2. Fantastic cross from Cancelo. It's a good finish. And at that point, there was only going to be one winner. At 2-2, there was only going to be one winner. It was just a matter of whether Celta Vigo could hold out, but you could tell they were dead. I think at 2-2, they were just dead on their fate. It was almost like they'd resigned to their fate, that they knew that the belief was sucked out. Even at 2-2, the belief was sucked out that they could get anything from that game. You could see it in the body language. You could see that there was a lack of conviction when they were going forward, because up until 2-0, every time they bond forward with purpose. They didn't always make the most of the chances, but they bond forward with purpose. As soon as that 2-2, it became 2-2, you almost felt like, this is done. And it was just a matter of time to make it 3-2. And Cancelo made it 3-2 with a fantastic header. Good finish, actually, by the way, and a good cross from Gavi as well. It's a wonderful finish from Cancelo. It makes it 3-2. You'd expect Ilkay Gundogan to step up in those moments and make it 3-2, but in this case, it was another Manchester City ex-player in Cancelo who makes it 3-2, and that's it. And Barcelona see it out and have won the game. 3 points for Barcelona, but I think there's a lot of concerns for Xavi, especially in defense, because I don't think he's getting that defensive balance right. And I don't know what the solution is. But it's that back four, back four, back three, whatever you want to call it. I think even Xavi doesn't know whether he wants to play back 4 or back 3. So first he's got to get clarity on that. But whatever it is, it's the struggling. It's struggling a little bit. Maybe the midfield, maybe they need more support from midfield. Maybe Pedri coming back will help whenever he comes back. But until then, they've got to figure that whole portion out. The Ferran Torres today was poor. Looked like the Ferran Torres of last season, not like the Ferran Torres of this season, where he had 2 very presentable chances. And both of them he spurned. One of them I think he should have finished. Made it 1-1. It was 1-0, and he should have made it 1-1, but he shot it wide. Another chance he got, he should have squared it, I think, to Felix, but instead he decided, I'm going to go for shot, and he completely missed the target in the near post. So that's something for him to work on. Yes, players have poor games sometimes, but he needs to look at that, and there's a lot of competition. Definitely need to look into that. I'm a little bit concerned that Barcelona keep turning to Lamine Yamal. Every time they need something, they go to Yamal. I mean, this is a young kid. He should not have this kind of pressure put on him at this stage. But it almost looks like, it's like, well, we don't know what to do. Let's put on Yamal and see whether he can do something. It's not ideal. And I'm not saying that he cannot handle that pressure. I'm just saying it's never a good idea to put that kind of pressure on a 16-year-old. But that's something as well. Ultimately, I think Lewandowski showed his class, and he got his 2 goals and took both of them really well. And Barcelona showed a lot of determination, a lot of grit. It would have been easy at 2-0 to just kind of go, right, this is done. We've lost. We can't really do anything much here, and probably give up. I do feel again, and then again I came up to this spot. If they had kept on Aspas 1 or 3 4 minutes, maybe Barcelona's heads would have dropped a little bit more, and you could have kind of gotten away with it. The moment the fact is they went 2-0 down, and immediately he takes up Aspas, and it's like it's like, oh god, we're 2-0 down, but oh wait, Aspas has come off. Yeah, now we got a chance. Yes, you almost gave them that adrenaline injection, Benitez, which they didn't need to get. being 2-0 down, you could have, you go for the jugular. Instead, he went right here. You go take an injection boost. Now we're taking off Aspas. So I can't get over that. I can't get over that because Aspas is my man of the match. Yes, Cancelo got an assist and a goal. Yes, Lewandowski scored 2 goals, whereas Aspas was man of the match. He was just absolutely incredible in this game. I thought he should not have started this game. He looked, when I looked at him, I said, this guy's old. Like, why is he even playing? Why is Celta playing him? But then he surprised me and he played really, really well. And I thought he was man of the match. And that's all I can say about that. Smash like for Aspas if he was your man of the match. Maybe somebody else for you. Maybe it was De La Torre, maybe it was Bamba, maybe it was Lewandowski, maybe it was Cancelo. Let me know in the comment section, of course. But for me, I thought it was Aspas. He was the man of the match. Fantastic performance today. Celta Vigo maybe deserved to get a draw, but in football you don't always get what you deserve. And at the end of the day, I think Barcelona will say they did quite well in that second half to win the game. And really, it was a matter of things going their way, which they did in the last 12 minutes. And that's when they got the win. But Celta Vigo, to be 2-0 up and to give 3 goals in 12 minutes after that is just unacceptable, particularly towards the end of the game. It's just unacceptable. And I think Benitez has got to have a hard look at himself. Some of the players that were on the pitch are going to need to have a hard look at themselves at how they let that game slip away. From Barcelona's point of view, they've got to do more of that 12 minutes, right? They did very well for those 12 minutes. Now they've got to find a way to make that over 90 minutes. And Xavi's got to also kind of think about how he's going to structure that defense. Because at the moment, whatever they're doing, it's not working defensively, and they need to look at that. But that being said, 3 points for Barcelona. So congratulations to them. Well done. And if you're a Barcelona fan, smash like for Barcelona, smash like for their victory. And do share your thoughts on the game, right? Maybe there's something that you saw that I didn't see that I might have missed. I was kind of a little bit. There was some good parts to Barcelona's play as well. I'm not going to say that they were very, very poor. There was some good parts to it, but at the end of the day, you would say that Celta Vigo lost that game rather than that Barcelona won that game. So that's my takeaway from that anyway. But share in the comments. Maybe you think something different, obviously. And do remember to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Always appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching. We've got one more match reaction video coming up after this because I'm going to watch Manchester United play. And God, looking at that lineup, I have very little hope from that game. Just looking at that lineup, that's a terrible lineup. But anyway, we'll be back and we'll see what happens there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.